Hey everybody, Lieutenant Joe here for Hope is Not a Tactic, the school safety and security show. So I want to talk about my sponsors real quick because they're very important that help me bring this information to you, the school administrators, teachers, and everybody who works in schools to keep us all safe. So you got Riot Tint, all right? So Riot Tint, they make the window glazing, the film that goes on your windows at your doors and exits so that you can have protection there. Excuse me. Protect you from people who are trying to get in quickly. It prevents the glass from being instantaneously removed and you can step right in. RiotTint.com. Awesome stuff. I've vetted it out. I think it's amazing. The next one is Blue360Media.com. Blue360Media.com. That's my publisher of my books. They provide everything for law enforcement as far as training but the key here is we're starting to set up a whole new section on school safety and security that I'm going to be putting together. And we're going to have books, we're going to have training, we're going to have videos. It's going to be everything to help you secure your facilities. And last but not least, medicalessentialdiagnostics.com, MED, medicalessentialdiagnostics.com. They're in the state of New Jersey right now. They have 6 locations. And anybody who's any kind of a state, county, federal, or township worker on the state of New Jersey can go there for a medical examination, soup to nuts, at no cost to you. And you can also bring 2 adults over 18 with you. So take a look at these people that are here to try and help us. They're trying to make everything better. That's what I want to talk about right now. The topic of vaping. And that's funny. I had this cough. It has nothing to do with vaping. I don't vape. But vaping is a problem in our schools. And I don't have to tell you that. Very few places that I talk to, is vaping a problem? No, not in our school. Vaping's not a problem at all. So what I see though is other places, most schools will sound, yeah, it's a problem. It's a big problem, especially for the kids in junior high and high school. But I think anybody that says they don't have a vaping problem in junior high and high school probably just doesn't know about it because it's out there. All these kids are vaping. Here's some of the dangers. Vaping is not safer than smoking cigarettes. That's what we initially all thought. I can get off the nicotine. I can get away from the cigarettes that are hurting my lungs and I can vape. And it's so much better for me. The vape is not the smoke. It'll be so much better. The reality is that vaping has its own health conditions that you have to deal with. You can get damage to your lungs from the vape. You can have the nicotine that's in the vape, right? The nicotine that smokers are addicted to, whether they want to admit it or not, they are. They're addicted to it. It's a very addictive drug, nicotine. They're addicted to it. In a pack of cigarettes, when you're smoking that, you smoke 1 cigarette at a time. And when you have that feeling you need a cigarette after a meal, before a meal, when you wake up, when you go to bed, when you walk around, I understand smoking. I've been around it my life. A lot of people I know smoke. And the reality is that you're addicted to that nicotine. Well, in a vape, there is often twice as much nicotine as there are in cigarettes. So you're twice as addicted. So you might be vaping regular plain old vape with nicotine, but you're still getting all that nicotine in your body, which is not good for you. There's all kinds of health concerns with nicotine. The other thing is vapes now come with all kinds of drugs. You can get vape with THC, which is very popular. You can get vape with opiates, which is heroin, fentanyl. You can get that. Matter of fact, there's been instances, and you can Google it, look it up, where kids are in a bathroom vaping with opioid vape, and another kid walks in, gets a snootful, and boom, goes down, right? Do you want that happening to your kid? Do you want anybody in your school vaping with opioids and going down? Opioids are killing us by the thousands, especially our young people. So you got to pay attention to the vaping. Now, you need to have a specific vaping policy, right? It can't be part of your smoking policy. You need your own vaping policy. So I have created a vaping policy for schools with an attorney who deals with schools all the time. He's very well versed in school activities, and he and I wrote this policy together. It's a model policy. You can have it for free. All you have to do is email me and ask for it. Joe at pangarotraining.com. Hey, Lieutenant Joe, I'd like that model policy. You get the policy, you tweak it so it fits your school district, you have your team look it over, you implement it, and you now have a vaping policy that you can enforce it. And it talks about what do you do when you get noticed that someone's vaping, either through somebody tells you that they're vaping, a teacher finds somebody vaping, you have a vape detector. There's a lot of them out there. There's lots of vape detectors out there. I worked with a company that created the Halo vape detector. It's now part of the Motorola family of products. Absolutely amazing. It not only does it detect vape, but it's got so many sensors in it. It's got gunshot detection. It's got volatile chemicals. Look it up. Halo from Motorola. I fully endorse it. It's an amazing product. I watched them develop it. I helped them develop it. All right. What else did we do? All right. So I see this book here. This is called The Dangers, Health Risks, and Consequences of Vaping. This is a book I wrote with a very good friend of mine, Dr. Chris Bader. I don't know if you can see his picture back here. Very handsome man, doctor, and Lieutenant Joe. And we got together and I asked him, hey, you work in an emergency room. You're a doctor. Do you see vaping problems? He goes, yeah, see them all the time. So Dr. Bader and I got together and we talked about all the different things that people, you need to know about vaping, because it's not safer than cigarettes. It is just as dangerous. It is just as bad. You know, those vapes blow up. The vape pens blow up. There's been people who have died because they're vaping and the pen blows up and it cut their throat with a piece of metal. They've had burns in their pockets. The pencil. What if one of those things are in a backpack in a locker in your school, and it flares up and goes on fire and starts a fire in your school, right? So it's not safer. It's dangerous. We have to understand it. That's why I wrote this book with Dr. Bader, The Dangers, Health Risks, and Consequences of Vaping. Where can you get a copy of this? It's very inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon, right? You go to Amazon, you look it up, Joseph Pangaro, Dangers, Health Risks, and Consequences of Vaping. It'll pop up. It's for what you get paid for this book. It's nothing, but you'll learn all about vaping. Your staff will learn about it. Your parents and the kids will learn about it, and we keep people safe. All right, because remember, this is the key. Don't believe the nonsense. Vaping is not safer than smoking cigarettes. It's just as dangerous. It's got twice as much nicotine. There's drugs in everything, and the things can blow up and hurt you very badly. So reach out if you have any questions about vaping. I have vaping training. We also have a video program that we can provide to you for schools. That it's a video program for one specific for your teachers to explain to them about vaping, what vaping's all about, so they understand this. Then there's one for the parents, right? So a lot of schools will get that video and they will invite the parents to come to school and they'll play the video. So now the parents understand why the school has a policy against vaping and why they're worried about it and why they take action and how they investigate it and what the consequences could be, right? And then there's one for the students. So the students will understand the healthcare, the problems that they can have, and the consequences they can have to deal with, right? So reach out, Joe at pangarotraining.com. I can tell you how to get this stuff. Vaping is not safe. It's not good. It's unhealthy. We need to protect our kids, not only from violent dangers, but from things like this too. All right. So this is Lieutenant Joe for Hope is Not a Tactic, telling you, hey, do the right thing. Let's protect our kids every way we can and have a great school environment.